Hellenization. A Hellenization is the historical spread of ancient Greek culture and, to a lesser extent, language, over foreign peoples conquered by Greeks have brought into the sphere of influence, particularly during the Hellenistic period following the campaigns of Alexander the Great. The result of Hellenization was that elements of Greek origin combined in various forms and degrees with local elements. These Greek influences spread from the Mediterranean basin as far east as modern-day Pakistan. In modern times, Hellenization has been associated with the adoption of modern Greek culture and the ethnic and cultural homogenization of Greece. Historic usage. Classical period. The concept applies to a number of other ancient historical contexts, starting with the Hellenization of the earliest inhabitants of Greece such as the Pelasgians, the Leleges, the Lemnians, the Etiocypriots in Cyprus, Etiocretans and Minoans in Crete, as well as the Sicels, Elymians, Sicani in Sicily and the Oenotrians, Brutii, Lucani, Mesopi and many others in territories constituting Magna Graecia. Hellenistic period. During the Hellenistic period, following the death of Alexander the Great, considerable numbers of Assyrians, Jews, Egyptians, Persians, Parthians, Armenians, and a number of other ethnic groups along the Balkans, Black Sea, southeastern Mediterranean, Anatolia, Middle East and Central Asia were Hellenized. The Bactrians, an Iranian ethnic group who lived in Bactria, were Hellenized during the reign of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom, and soon after various tribes in northwestern regions of the Indian subcontinent underwent Hellenization during the reign of the Indo-Greek kingdom. Other tribes that underwent varying degrees of Hellenization included Thracians, Dardanians, Paeonians and Illyrians south of the Jurachek line, and even Getae. Hellenization during the Hellenistic period, however, had its limitations. For example, areas of southern Syria that were affected by Greek culture mostly entailed Seleucid urban centers where Greek was commonly spoken. The countryside, on the other hand, was largely unaffected since most of its inhabitants spoke Syriac and continued to maintain the native traditions. Moreover, Hellenization did not necessarily involve assimilation of non-Greek ethnic groups, since Hellenistic Greeks in regions such as Asia Minor were conscious of their ancestral lineages. Middle Ages. Hellenization can also refer to the medieval Byzantine Empire and Constantine's founding of Constantinople. Moreover, it can refer to the primacy of Greek culture and the Greek language after the reign of Emperor Heraclius in the 7th century AD. Ottoman period. Hellenization during the period of Ottoman imperial rule entailed the higher status which Greek culture and the Greek Orthodox Church enjoyed among the Christian Orthodox populations of the Balkans. Modern usage. In 1909, a commission appointed by the Greek government reported that one-third of the villages of Greece should have their names changed, often because of the non-Greek origin. In other instances, names were changed from a contemporary name of Greek origin to the ancient Greek toponym. Some village names were formed from a Greek root word with a foreign suffix, or vice versa. The majority of the name changes took place in areas populated by ethnic Greeks where a strata of foreign or divergent toponyms had accumulated over the centuries. However, in some parts of northern Greece the population was not Greek-speaking, and many of the former toponyms reflected the diverse ethnic and linguistic origins of their inhabitants. The process of the change of toponyms in modern Greece has been described as a process of Hellenization. A modern use is in connection with policies pursuing cultural harmonization and education of the linguistic minorities residing within the modern Greek state, i.e., the Hellenization of minority groups in modern Greece. In 1870, the Greek government abolished all Italian schools in the Ionian Islands, annexed to Greece 6 years earlier. This led to the diminution of the community of Corfu Italians, resident in Corfu since the Middle Ages. By the 1940s there were only 400 Corfu Italians left. Modern scholarship. The 20th century witnessed a lively debate over the extent of Hellenization in the Levant, and particularly among the ancient Jews, that has continued until today. The history of religion's interpretations of the rise of early Christianity were wont to see Judaism as largely unaffected by Hellenism, while the Judaism of the diaspora was thought to have succumbed thoroughly to its influences. Rudolf Bultmann thus argued that Christianity arose almost completely within those Hellenistic confines and should be read against that background, as opposed to a more traditional Jewish background. With the publication of Martin Hengel's 2-volume study Hellenism and Judaism and subsequent studies Jews, Greeks and Barbarians, aspects of the Hellenization of Judaism in the pre-Christian period, and the Hellenization of Judea in the 1st century after Christ, the tide began to turn decisively. Hengel argued that virtually all of Judaism was highly Hellenized well before the beginning of the Christian era, and even the Greek language was well known throughout the cities and even smaller towns of Jewish Palestine. Scholars have continued to nuance Hengel's views, but very few continue to doubt the strong Hellenistic influences throughout the Levant, even among the conservative Jewish communities who were the most nationalistic.